Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Tuesday morning the 7th of May and we've got a lot to talk about this morning. There's been a lot of updates in the cases that I'm covering. So we better get into it, hadn't we? Like quick smart, let's go. Okay, let's start with the Karen Reid trial. Now, I believe, and I've made no secret of, that Karen Reid is factually innocent. I don't see any evidence whatsoever, not in any information that has come out in the pre-trial, and certainly nothing that has come out so far from the prosecution's case at the trial. Instead, what I'm seeing is a lot of amnesia. A lot of amnesia from EMTs, from the cops. In fact, so much so, I've got a new drinking game for those of you who partake. Take a shot every time a witness says, I can't recall. I don't recall. Don't blame me if you get alcohol poisoning. Absolutely insane. Now, yesterday, this dude, a cop, Gallagher, made an absolute boo-boo. A boo-boo, I tell you. A boo-boo that I'm sure afterwards, you know, when he thought it back, made him boo-hoo. Because these cops are just dirty. Right, so this guy, under cross-examination, admits that Karen Reid's taillight was shattered when the Canton Police Department were removing it. Removing it to send it to the lab. Listen.
Canton Police Department was allowed to facilitate the removal of that light. Yes. And during the course of the removal of that light, that taillight was broken, correct?
That's correct.
And shattered.
Yes.
Defence. During the course of the removal of that light, that taillight was broken, correct? Gallagher. That's correct. Defence. Shattered. Gallagher. Yes. Was it shattered into 45 pieces that were later deposited at the place where John O'Keefe was found? I'm just asking. Because these dudes removed snow layers because it had snowed in the course of the night. They used a leaf blower to blow layers of snow away from the scene. And while removing some layers, and John O'Keefe had already been gone by then, he was gone to the hospital by then, they found some pieces of broken glass, which they're calling the cocktail glass that John O'Keefe was carrying. Well, how come those cocktail glass pieces would have been near the surface, not where John O'Keefe had been lying for, allegedly, it's got to be like 5 or 6 hours if Karen Reid hit him? And how come, during the course of all this blowing that they did, how come no pieces of taillight were found? Riddle me that. Speaking of labs, though, I've never seen anything like this. This is how they collected the blood evidence. So they got a shopping bag, right? That's their evidence bag, a little shopping bag. At least it's made of paper and not plastic, but, oh no, look, they've got these little plastic Solo cups. Apparently they got from a neighbour who never came out. Because apparently no one ever came out of their houses when they were there working, both on John and collecting evidence. No one came out of their houses. Well, how come they got these cups from a neighbour then? And they said, well, the snow was frozen, so the blood was frozen, so they didn't swab it. They decided not to swab it. They decided just to take pieces of snow. Well, okay, you can take pieces of snow, but put them into a secure container. Where's the chain of custody here? Come on now. They were not put into evidence either. No chain of custody. And that's literally like 2 feet away from Karen Reid's vehicle. This is Karen Reid's vehicle in Canton Police Department. All right. This is Karen Reid's vehicle right next to those 6 Solo cups. And what I don't notice about the back of Karen Reid's vehicle are teeth. This particular model of Lexus just doesn't have teeth. German Shepherds do, though. All right, moving on. Let's move on to the Delphi trial, which is looming. And Richard Allen, finally, after numerous attempts from his defence team to get him moved to a county jail, it's been refused again and again and again and again because a county jail can't house him, not safe enough, not secure enough. Well, on the eve of his trial, he's been moved. This is his new mugshot. He's 5'5" and 147 pounds. So if you're looking to lose weight, rather than going for things like a gastric band, to just commit a crime, they'll send you to Westville or to Wabash Valley, and you can lose a quarter of your body weight. Because he was like 200 and some pounds 18 months ago. So if you want to lose a quarter of your body weight, then go there. And people will say, well, yeah, but that's because he's guilty. Well, looks like he's aged 10 years in the last 18 months. But yeah, on the eve of his trial, well, not literally the eve of his trial, there is a hearing though, there is a pre-trial hearing, but he's in Allen County Jail now, even though jails aren't safe enough. But next week, you guys, justice, if there is any, and I'm not holding out hope that there will be justice in this case, it will be done in the dark, because Francis is an absolute clown. All right, finally, Sebastian Rogers. Now, the Facebook groups this morning are awash with someone called Matt, who is allegedly a co-worker of Terry Bowersox, who is Chris Profoot's stepdad. Chris Profoot, of course, is Sebastian Rogers' stepdad. And I haven't listened to these call-ins, but apparently, he had some choice things to say about Terry Bowersox. But moving swiftly on, because these people, after like 2.5 months, coming out of the woodwork. Right, last week we had a neighbour come out, some of which was believable. I talked about it in a recent live stream. Some of it's believable that a neighbour, close neighbour, could have witnessed. But Sebastian sleeping in the garage, how would a neighbour know that? I don't know. These people come out of the woodwork. This Matt is just the latest of those people coming out of the woodwork. Is he genuine? No idea. All right, to a genuine update, an actual genuine update. Nick Barris from News Channel 5 Nashville spoke to Eric Craddock, the Chief Deputy from Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And this is what Nick said. Time to clarify a few things. Several of you messaged me citing reports from podcasts or social media detectives or whatever, reporting that authorities in North Carolina have looked into it and say this photo is not of Sebastian Rogers. I know of no official statement saying any such thing. Me neither. And I'd think that if that was the case, the North Carolina investigators would share that information with authorities here in Tennessee. Hasn't happened. Okay. The photo was taken at a visitor centre in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina last weekend. It was actually at the Wilson Centre, which is like a cool place for kids to go. They've got like animals, they've got exhibits and stuff like that. If you were on the run, but keeping things kind of normal and fun and jolly for that child, it might be somewhere you'd take them. You wouldn't think anyone would notice you there. It's a public place, but since then, authorities have been trying to confirm who is in the photo. At this point, this is not a confirmed sighting. We've got to be clear about that. But I'm told it hasn't been determined yet that it is not Sebastian. I'm in touch with the lead investigator with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office on the case. Chief Deputy Eric Craddock tells me tonight, this is just a few hours ago, still working, nothing ruled out. He adds, I promise I will update you, Nick, when we have one. Seems pretty clear the case is not closed yet as far as this photo is concerned. That, of course, could change any time as authorities continue to look for the person in the photo, whether it's Sebastian or someone else. And that person, that woman in the photo, who may or may not be with that young man, not come forward to law enforcement. Do they not know that they're being looked for? Possible, if they're travelling. Or is it because it's Sebastian? On this page, unlike many others, I try to stick with what we know officially from the authorities. Others may have theories and opinions, which are certainly fine. I can tell you some investigators tell me privately that the chances of this actually being Sebastian are slim. But it's something they must check out. You never know. I think the chances of it actually being Sebastian are also slim. I'm 80-20 still that it isn't Sebastian. We're just all hoping and praying that it is, aren't we? Do try to stick to the facts. And the fact right now is that this photo remains a potential lead until we hear officially otherwise. More to come. Continue to call tips in to the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. All right, guys, let me know what you think about all of these cases. Oh, by the way, are you following the Mica Miller case? Anybody who watches my channel? Yeah, I don't know what to make of it, honestly. I mean, this medical examiner, Dr. Richard Johnson, coming out and saying that she died from what is consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I don't know. Cops are going to update today, so I hope they've got some actual evidence that this was indeed self-inflicted. But what do I know? All right, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.